First up, we have Argentina v France. How do you think that'll go?
Um, I don't know, Jimmy. I think it's difficult to tell with Argentina. I think they are more consistent than people give them credit for. I do, but it's a difficult one. They have had two tough performances. Obviously, the win over Italy, and then another good performance, but a narrow loss to Ireland, where they were pretty dominant in patches. So it'd be interesting. Obviously, France going off the back of a great win against New Zealand. Looking at the lineups coming up for Friday, I think the French have actually strengthened in many places. Bringing in this Barre at fullback is very exciting. Not that Buros didn't have a great debut, but then a couple of the strong hitters in the scrum. I think Antonio is back. Yeah, and who's the other, someone else in the back row? I think Francois Gross or whatever. So yeah, it's exciting. I think we have a French victory between 5 and 10 points, probably maybe 7 to 12 points. So yeah, that's what I'm going for. A narrow-ish but French victory. What about you, Jimmy?
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna go for a French win by about 15 to 20 points, I think. Argentina, they've been great in their first two games, but I just think they've gave their all in these first two games against Italy and Ireland. Just came up short against Ireland, and I don't think they'll have that to give again against the French. And I think the French will get the job done pretty comfortably by about 15 to 20 points.
So obviously, Jimmy, next game Saturday afternoonish is your team, Ireland v Fiji. There might be a few changes here. You're going to say some of the main changes that Andy Farrell's brought in, and what your predictions for this game?
Yeah, so there's a few big changes in the squad, like the likes of Sam Prendergast getting his first start for Ireland and Cormac Izuchuku, like the likes of them in the squad. And then we have the return of Jacob Stockdale on the wing,
I'm
which is
back.
great to see. Yeah, Jake's back. Yeah, so this will be a big game for him. I think it'll be a comfortable win for Ireland. I think that the media have just have jumped on the Irish hate train recently, and I think they're going to silence all the critics, and I think it's going to be an
Rightly
Ireland
so.
win by about 20 points or so.
Okay. I can't remember the whole lineup off the top of my head, but I said on a earlier casual bias video, rugby video, it's going to be about 20 points as well. So yeah, I agree. I think you see Fiji. I know they did a good win over Wales, but that Wales team ain't strong. It's not
Yeah.
strong. So I'm thinking the same as you. Really, I mean, yeah, not a great. It was a good win against Spain as well, but not like massively convincing. So I know it's an Ireland sort of AB team, but I think the same about 15 to 25 points. Yeah, and then obviously
Yeah.
the next one is we're just talking about Wales as a catastrophe. They are hosting the Springboks, the world champions. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's not really getting much better for the Welsh at the minute, but yeah, I think they'll actually put in a respectable performance. I know some of their players actually did perform in a bit in a way, like all right, but I do think they'll actually put in a respectable enough performance, and it'll be probably Springboks by about 10 or so points. What do you think?
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we get the final Springbok victory and a whole year Wales don't get a single win. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I can't wait for the Springboks to hammer Wales. I mean, the Springboks, they've made a few changes, of course. I think that Hanekom's getting a debut. They've got the Hendrickses 9 and 10, which will be fun. But most of their backs are still their full strength. So, yeah, I'm expecting, compared to some of those Welsh backs, Sam Costello coming in at 10. I don't know where Anscombe is. No Thomas Williams. Lots of players missing for Wales. To be fair to them, lots of them missing. Probably about 20 first team players. But yeah, I can only see a bit of a hammering here. I'm going to go plus 30 points from the Springboks, and yeah, a winless 2024. What a shame.
Yeah, it's mad how the Welsh have gone from being one of the best teams in the world in like 2019 or so to going possibly a year without a win. It's just unbelievable. It really is just
Well,
unbelievable.
I don't enjoy Wales's downfall on a serious note because long term it's terrible, but they've caused England so much pain in the last 15 years. I can't help but just enjoy it for a little bit. Just a whole year without a win is beautiful. Then I hope they get better again. I do genuinely hope they start to
Yeah.
improve and get back to their old level because the rivalries are great, but just for a little bit, it's fun.
Yeah.
But then final game on Saturday, I'm really excited for this one. New Zealand versus Italy at the Juventus Stadium in Turin, 40,000 people. Oh, can't wait. What do you think?
Yeah, it's at I think it's called the Allianz Stadium or the Allianz Arena. So,
It's called
um,
the BTEC Allianz Arena, the wannabe.
oh, all right. So,
Well, it's only
yeah,
got half the capacity of Twickenham. It's just shite.
hopefully they won't have a similar record to England at the new Allianz Stadium, and they can hopefully redeem themselves from that 96 point game in the World Cup where the All Blacks just came put 90 something points on them. I think they'll be
Mm.
wanting to prove themselves that they have improved a lot over the year, and they can get a decent, respectable result out of this.
Yeah, I think it's the first time they played in this Juventus Stadium, like Italy rugby national team. So I can't wait to see what the atmosphere is going to be like. It's probably the nicest, most modern stadium in Italy, so that'd be exciting. Um, yeah, I think Italy they put in a poor performance in that World Cup game. Menoncello was out injured. They've had a change of coach. Then the players are a year more experienced, whereas New Zealand, there's been a few changes. They're sort of finding their rhythm again. They've obviously lost big names, the big names of Mwanga, Aaron Smith, Retallick, and Whitelock. So I'm hoping it'll be a bit closer at home in Italy. Big crowd, not many games in Turin very often. So yeah, I'm hoping Italy can make the most of that energy. And if they really show up, there's no reason why it can't be close. But at the same time, there's a bit of me just thinking they're going to shit the bed here. It's going to be like a 25-point loss, and that's what I'm going to go for. But I hope it's close.
Yeah. I'd say maybe coming into the last 10, 15 minutes or so, would say it could be within a score, maybe. Like maybe them
Mm.
fighting to get into the game, and then I'd say the All Blacks will pull away at the end. But
I just
yeah,
hope it's close. I hope it's close. I hope Italy just put on a good show, a respectable performance to interact with their home crowd, even if it's a loss. Just make it, a great game.
yeah, and get people at games more often in Italy, which would be great to see.
Yes. Let me go move on to Sunday. I think the first game, I might be wrong, is Scotland Australia.
I think it is. Yeah.
I think that is. I know France Argentina is exciting tomorrow night or whenever it's going out Friday night, but Scotland Australia for me is the closest matchup, maybe in all of world rugby right now. They are for me really quite level, but especially just in this weekend, they're the closest matchup, and I can't wait to watch this. I mean, Scotland's two of their best players are Tuipulotu and Jack Dempsey, who are Australians, but we'll ignore that and just focus on the teams themselves. How do you see it going, Jimmy?
I see it like the Wallabies are just going from strength to strength at the minute. Like in the summer, like as you said there, this is probably the one of the tightest matchups that we get in World Rugby at the minute. Like in the summer, we are talking about the Wallabies having a tight matchup against the Welsh or something like that. And I think they've just like massively improved in the last couple of months, even from the Rugby Championship. They've been great so far in this Autumn Nations series, and I think they'll manage to get the job done. But then again, it can go either way. But I think it's going to be Australia by 5 points.
Yeah. I think it's going to be close. I think it'll be quite exciting. I think these two teams, like some of the most exciting backs, and especially sort of the way they attack. Scotland are kind of, they're all out attack at times, and Australia have been playing some really nice things this year. In the autumn, England played obviously the big three teams from the south, historical teams of South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia. And for me, Australia are by far the best attacking ball in hand. So it's going to be an exciting game. I think Australia will also get a narrow victory, and I'm praying for it because obviously Dan at Rugby Realm, he's saying Scotland are better than England, and I don't like Scotland in general being better than England, but if he's saying it, that's a load of rubbish. So I'm backing. I'm going full on. Good day, mate. Come on, Wallabies. That's terrible, but there you go.
Yeah.
Come on,
Accents aren't
Australia.
your strong point, are they?
No. I'm going full on Australia victory, and yeah, just sort of Joseph Suwali to carry whatever cup they're going to win this game and shove it into Peloto's face. Look, it's going to be you, and instead it's me, a leaguey who's played 3 games. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm also looking forward to the final game, obviously the big game.
El
Well,
Sakako.
England hosting Japan, Borthwick against his old boss.
in the Allianz Stadium. We'll be watching El Sacco, Eddie Jones, and Steve Borthwick fighting to keep their jobs. I think I
What
wouldn't be surprised in typical Eddie Jones fashion, like Japan pull out a masterclass here.
Japan
Like
over both
I
sides.
really wouldn't put it past. I wouldn't put it past them to pull out a really good performance. And saying that, I'd say it could be Japan by about 2 or 3 points.
Don't be ridiculous, Jimmy. We're going to smash Japan. We're going to put 25 points on them easily at home. And if we don't win, Steve Borthwick has to be sacked. But I'm expecting, 25-point win at home.
Well, you were very confident going into that Wallabies game, and obviously didn't come out in the right end of that. But yeah,
To be
arguably the
fair,
better team last week.
I said only win beat Australia by 15 points. So it's levels here. There's some levels here, but Australia definitely have more raw talent, way more raw talent than Japan. So if we lose this, it's a fucking disgrace.
Yeah, and yeah, like arguably England were the better team last week against the Springboks. If it wasn't for those mistakes and stuff, and maybe a few dodgy calls from the ref, I think you really would have won that game.
I know the South Africans once again have got lucky from the ref. It's only happened about 7 times in the last 14 months. But never mind, never mind. We've got to ignore the yappy South
Yeah, we
Africans and
move
focus on
and
England.
yeah, we move and we watch them do the same against Wales.
Yeah, they only beat Wales because of the ref.
Yeah,
They get loads of forward passes, and that's how they score their tries.
yeah.
But Jimmy, you were saying that you think this Steve Borthwick might not make it through the autumn. Is that what you think?
Personally, if I was in charge, yeah, he would be gone. Personally, like when he like did become in charge of England, I never thought he'd last at all, to be honest. I really didn't think he was the right fit for the job, and I never thought he was going to be a permanent, like long term coach. And but it realistically, if he doesn't win, I wouldn't be surprised if he stays on.
Mm.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if they keep him, but personally, I would
I, th-
sack him.
I think it's incredibly harsh. He's lost multiple games to the biggest four countries in the world by less than a score in most of them. Like it's just unlucky. Something needs to change in the mindset. Maybe Steve Borthwick needs to make a coaching tweak. I mean, he's got a lot of inexperienced coaches. Even Kevin Sinfield, a league player, isn't a he's not an experienced rugby union coach or coach in general. He's not long retired. Richard Wigglesworth has hardly been in the job long. And Felix Jones has left, so it's kind
Yeah,
of
no,
chaos. To be fair,
He banished Felix Jones to the remote job.
it's
Like when
it's
you
a lot
have
of
someone as good as Felix Jones there, like sending them on a remote job, like what are you doing?
I think people need to realise this sort of slight unorganisation in the coaching background, and it's not good. It needs to be sorted out. But at the same time, we're losing by a score some of the best teams in the world, some of them in their primes, and we're kind of a bit messy in the backroom staff. So we just need to make some tweaks and make things a bit more ordered. And there's no reason why England can't, in the next year and a half, 2 years, really kick on.
Yeah, but like on the other hand, the question could be, could England close out these tight games if it was a coaching change needed? Like if it was a new coach needed, could that be the reason you can't close out tight games?
Yeah, but at least we're in tight games because in the last year or two of Eddie Jones, we were we weren't even in tight games. Or some of them we were getting a bit smashed. It's difficult. It's difficult. I think you can talk about Steve Borthwick. At the end of the day, we have got I think lots of really good players. So maybe whichever coach is in, it'll be close. And maybe Steve Borthwick is underachieving. I don't know. I think getting to a World Cup final, a minute away from World Cup final within a year of taking over from that England team ain't too bad, and he needs just give it another year or so. But yeah,
Thing is,
I would
so
stick with him.
yeah, thing is, so arguably that England team, like in what, like 2019, majority of the same players, arguably the best team in the world at the time.
Yeah, but you got to think where they were when Steve Borthwick took over. Obviously, Eddie
Yeah, it
wasn't
was a
got sacked for a
mess, really.
reason.
It
So
really
yeah,
was a mess.
I stick with him, but we'll see. We'll see. He's got to beat Japan because if he doesn't beat Japan, then that is a disgrace.
Yeah.